Hello and welcome to another Cactus Hill adventure. This video will show us going through Poison Spring Canyon area on BLM route 15000. I know the sign said 1500, but the zero is missing. Anyway, here's some of the beautiful scenery you're going to see in the video. This is part one of part two, so the challenge I had with the video, I had 90 minutes of video, and trying to get it down to a smaller content, I ended up getting it down to about 28 to 30 minutes and decided to split it into two parts. So here we go in part one, and this is just showing the initial access road into Poison Spring Canyon area. This is a road that cuts off to the right that goes to the sand dunes and Turkey Knob Road. We didn't go down there, but you're welcome to give it a shot. We may do it next year. Anyway, here you can see we got it at a few times speed just to get through some of the area. Again, the problem with knocking it down from 90 minutes to 30 minutes was that everything in this canyon is so beautiful and the scenery is just wonderful. I mean, it was one of the most enjoyable off-road adventures we've had. And it just was, try to cut something out was nearly impossible. The only thing I could do was speed it up and still let you see the canyon views and go from there. So I hope you enjoy it. The road is pretty good. As you can see, it's kind of rocky in places. It's also sandy. There's also some water you'll see later in the video that you have to traverse. We didn't quite make it all the way to the Dirty Devil River. It's 16 miles from the sign at the beginning of the video. We made about 14 miles. The road going down to the Dirty Devil River, we decided not to do it. Just safety, and just didn't look in good shape right now when we were there anyway. So we decided to turn around and come back, but I think next year, or excuse me, in the fall of this year when we return to this area, we're going to go across the Dirty Devil River and go on a little farther. That's mainly for overlanders. There's a lot of camping and boondocking out there, so we're not that, we don't do that. So we just kind of enjoy the scenery. I fly my drone. My wife likes to look for rocks, and that's our entertainment and our adventure. So anyway, enjoy the video. I will comment as we go through as things I see. And also one thing that I want to mention is that keep an eye on the debris that's on the trees and boulders along the parts where we get into the creek and the river portion of this. The debris is so far up on some of those trees, it's almost unbelievable that amount of water would be coming down this canyon. But that tells you, pay attention to the weather, see what there's any rainstorms, recent flooding in the area. Might be a good idea to stop in Hanksville at the BLM office. That's what we did. And we found out that they were working on the road, and you probably see a lot of gravel, thick rock, or I guess say fairly good sized rock was poured down on the road, and you'll see it throughout our trip where we run over it. And I've left the sound on there so you can experience that portion of it as well. So here we're seeing some soft sand, that's also here. So I would recommend a four-wheel drive vehicle with a little bit of clearance. There's nothing real technically or difficult about it, but it's just you don't know what the terrain might be, the road will be like, based on maybe some flooding or washing out or anything that the weather might bring its way. So I'd recommend minimum four-wheel drive vehicle and go from there. One thing I forgot to mention at the beginning of the video was that this road through Poison Spring Canyon is approximately 17 miles south of Hanksville on Highway 95. So it's 17 miles south on Highway 95 from Hanksville. these sections that I have slowed down the video are the ones that I consider to be the most picturesque and beautiful. So hope you enjoy it. Hope you have the same opinion I do. And again, we enjoyed this trip immensely. It was really a pretty ride all the way through. So, you know, take your time. We stopped. I flew my drone once, and then we stopped and had lunch, and you know, just enjoyed the area. So there are some petroglyphs and some other things to explore, cave, etc. We didn't have any of the exact locations for any of those, so we looked for them, but we didn't see any. But I've since got some more information on the canyon, and when we go back again in fall of 2023, we're going to take a little more time and try to find some of those petroglyphs and the cave and some other things along the road to explore. So anyway, I'll try to shut up for a while and let you enjoy the scenery, and again, it was a very beautiful drive. Well, one thing I'd like to add now, if you have the capability, it might be good to air down your tires. The road is rocky in places and sandy in places, so airing down somewhat would help the ride be a little more pleasant, a little smoother. And there is a staging area just a couple of miles from where we started, where the sign was, where the nice staging area. You could have ATVs or, you know, 4x4s or whatever you're riding down in canyon. You can stage there or air down or whatever in that area. Just a few moments, we'll be heading into some of the water. They're not basically water crossings, it's just water in the road. I can only assume it's from the Poison Spring and that it flows. It's a natural flowing spring. So I have no information on that. That's my assumption. And there is going to be quite a bit of water coming up. It's not deep, it's not treacherous, but it was a little fun going through the water. You'll see how beautiful it is in some of these areas, with the reflections of the canyon walls on the water, etc. Notice there's a lot of cottonwoods and some aspens in the canyon here. We were there in fall of 2022, so some of the leaves are turning colors already, so that was another part of the beauty of this canyon. And here we come onto our really first kind of significant bit of water. Not a whole lot, nothing too crazy to get through, but we'll have a few of these as we go through the rest of the video. And again, remember to pay attention to some of the debris on the trees along the sides of the river here, the creek or spring. It would amaze me how high up on some of these trees that the debris was kind of stuck to, you know, from previous flooding. That much water had come down through this canyon. It was amazing. I'd recommend going in this canyon probably late summer, fall. I don't know what it'd be like in the spring. Here we are going through one of the prettiest areas of the canyon. See the reflection of the canyon wall in front of us here in the pond that we crossed here. Standing water. See some of that debris on the tree to the right of the screen right now, how high up it was. And there's some other trees that are even higher. I'll try to point them out as we go through here. getting to the near the end of part 1. I want to thank you for watching. If you made it this far, there'll be a link at the end of this video at the end screen to part 2. Obviously, I encourage you to watch it. If you like to subscribe, there should be a subscribe button in the lower right hand corner of the video. And again, remember, you won't know if you don't go.